Yeah, right now?
Yeah, okay, sure.
Okay, great.
You got it all inside of you.
Yeah, should work fine. Can I have 10 seconds or 20 seconds?
Okay,
I didn't know, sorry.
all right.
That's fine. He just wants to. Yeah, yeah, no, that's fine. You can just time and then
Feel it to be true. And when you dance,
Yeah, sure.
Is it okay to stand here, or you'd rather sit down there?
where do you want me?
Standing here?
Here?
Is
Okay. Yep.
I don't want to, make you stand up for too long. Okay, let me just check the cameras on. Yes, it is. What a return! Leila Fernandez! Take a bounce! Match point, ladies and gentlemen. Championship Billie Jean King Cup point. Get her in somehow. What attack! What defense! Wow! Wow! Look at this!
I was probably a little bit bamboozled with with everything. Sorry.
And Billie Jean King Cup 2023. That's a wrap.
Ready? Play.
I always think people with their cameras out on big moments and big points, you sort of do lose a bit of the feeling and understanding of what's going on around you. So I just want to say that when I had the match point of that Leila Fernandez point in Seville, I put the camera sort of very low down so I could still feel, because I think if you got it there, it's like you don't know, you don't. But I had the camera in a position where I trusted my hand judgment of where it was going on, but I could still savor the atmosphere, because I see people watching a penalty shootout and they've got the and I'm thinking you lose some of the ambience and what's going on around you.
Yeah, I get it. In tennis, I mean, especially if someone wastes a few match points and you're like recording, 6 or 7 rallies, basically.
That as well.
Yeah, I remember a friend pointing it out to me. I think when I was recording maybe a match point of Janovic against Sejbov in Kozerki last year, when he was like, I mean, it might be 5 match points. What are you doing? I just said, I want it for my Twitter. I'm sorry. And I think the video came out okay. But yeah, I get that. You know, it's
I mean, I
certainly
don't. I
it's why I don't do it all the time. It's why I don't.
Yeah,
do it all
yeah.
the time.
I mean, I also I get it if you've got a a YouTube channel or whatever as well, and I also get it if you're you're an Instagrammer or you're just a bit impressionable. If you're there's certain I get it, but I think I'm sure that those people recording it are doing it week in week out, and I just think, yeah, I don't know. I it doesn't bother me but I just feel a bit sad for them because I think they're not getting as much from the sport as they would if they put the phone away. I think. But something I didn't realize is these two, Swiatek and Zheng, by the way, have played each other 4 times. I remember them playing in Roland Garros, but right now off the top of my head, I can't remember another encounter between them. I see Damien is frozen. He's just sent me a WhatsApp. I guess he's it's all good, Damien. So, as I was saying, it's a 4-0 head-to-head. By the way, Swiatek is already 15-30 down on her serve here. Goes into the forehand and... Okay, it's the second serve. I've got one eye on Sabalenka Bronzetti over in Brisbane. Do hit the like button, by the way, and if you are new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. Talking of subscribers, we can put on the number of subscribers there on the screen, like so. We actually have 2 break points now for Qinwen Zheng, so it's a very interesting start for the Chinese. And she breaks. She breaks. Hey, Dominic. Dominic. Dominic, where have you been? It's been about a year. Dominic Federer was your old name, and you've gone back. But yes, I am planning on attending some tournaments. Basically, all the tournaments that we had a presence at in 2023, I hope to repeat that in 2024. And if we can add a couple of tournaments to that list, that would be great. Rio and Buenos Aires are certainly on the hit list. Dominic, do make sure you hit the like button, by the way. And tell me, where have you been? Where have you been for the last... when was it the last time you joined us and made a comment in the chat? I would guess more than a year ago, but I could be wrong. But good to have you back. All of these comments come with joy and pleasure. Pre-match predictor had Iga 80-20. Actually, it's probably about right. Anyway. Both players, but Iga in particular, she looks a little bit uncomfortable in the sun right now. Anyway, she comes in and bashes that forehand, and it's love 15 on the Zheng serve. Hi, Max. I'm not even sure what a witness protection program is. But Federer, where are you? Federer. Dominic, where are you tuning in from? And Max, nice to have you on board. Max, if you're new to the channel, do hit the like button and subscribe as well. That's the most important thing if you are new. Love 15 here on the Zhang serve, but she has got an early break. But you can just sense that Iga's pretty desperate to get this back on serve. Lovely forehand winner there from Zhang. Zheng, sorry. Just watching Zheng actually right now, I'm You're tuning in from Seattle. Okay, Washington State. I'm just thinking to myself about how sloppy I felt her performance was against Danilovic last week. And just thinking that sometimes maybe what's going on the other side of the net can also affect you and how well you play. She has just put up an unreturnable as well, so it's 30-15. But great to have you back anyway, Dominic, and long may you stay with us. But I guess whatever this program was, it meant you were unable to join social activities, I guess. Sabalenka's up 2-1 on serve over Bronzetti. Garcia's not quite got over the line yet over Paolini. So that's interesting. But of course, Paolini has to win to force the deciding match doubles. Backhand return from Iga. It's a pretty good one. 30 all right now, by the way. But she's loose on the forehand there. That'll disappoint her. 40-30 now. Forehand here from Zheng. Forehand defensive shot from Iga. Lovely, lovely little slice stroke drop shot there from Qinwen Zheng. And she leads 2-love. She's consolidated. How about that? Bonzetti is 1-2. It's a good return there from... Oh, no, it's not. Anyway, I don't want to confuse you. I'll get back to this, where we've got Swiatek serving at love 2. Let's try that. That might not be too bad. So, Swiatek to serve, love 2. $15 love Iga. Ghost, I don't know if you remember Dominic. Dominic was in the chat with us about 15 months ago and then disappeared. But anyway, he's back, and we're very grateful for that. Backhand return from Zheng is pretty mean. Forehand from Zheng. Backhand now to backhand. It's on the forehand of Zheng. Forehand now of Iga. And Iga clips the net. Gets a bit lucky with that one, perhaps. Another net cord, but this time from Zheng, but it does go long. So it's 30 love now. By the way, Ghosty, what were you saying just a few minutes ago about this being a potential cakewalk for Iga? Not started out that way, that's for sure. A match for the ages indeed. 30 love. 40 love. So 3 game points for Iga. Where's she going to go with this serve? Clips the net and goes long. What was a delightful food you mentioned, Ghosty, in a live chat once, and I was like, that just sounded amazing, but I can't remember what it was. It might have been something with pork and apple or something. Backhand slice from Iga from Zheng. Zheng goes long, and it is 2-1. So she does hold serve. Let's have a quick look to see what's going on elsewhere. Paolini is serving to stay in the match and keep Italy alive. Sabalenka, by the way, is on serve in her match with Bronzetti. She's the number 1 seed for the WTA 500 there in Brisbane. Not won a title since Madrid, by the way, Sabalenka. Let's have a quick look as well. What else is going on around the world? Because, of course, we have an ATP 250 in Hong Kong, an ATP 250 in Brisbane. We have a WTA 500 in Brisbane. And we have the United Cup taking place in Perth and Sydney. Keep up at the back. And, of course, we've got WTA as well in Auckland going on as well. Earlier on today, we had a pretty good match with Osaka and Pliskova, going 3 sets. Pliskova emerging the winner there on putting an end to Osaka's sort of comeback trail for now. Of course, she'll be at the Australian Open in a couple of weeks. By the way, talking about some of those ATP tournaments, Humbert has beaten Mickelson in straight sets in Brisbane, whilst Hanfmann and Arnaldi are 1 set to the good over their respective opponents, Duckworth and Klein. That is in Hong Kong. Keep up at the back. What else have we got going on? Let's have a quick look on the WTA side of things. As I said, Sabalenka and Bronzetti are on serve in Brisbane. And yeah, Pliskova has already beaten Naomi Osaka. Clara Towson against Ferro. I think that is in Auckland. Yes, it is in Auckland, yeah. They're into a 3rd set. Clara Towson, feels like a long time since I've heard her name on the WTA Tour. Kudermetova, by the way, won in straight sets over Schmiedlova earlier on today. And Emma Navarro, by the way, she beat a friend of the show, Avanesian, in straight sets, actually pretty comfortably, 6-1, 6-2. It's a very good win for Navarro. That one. And Volnietz is up a set and a break up on the Australian qualifier. McPhee in Auckland. So, no. Is that Auckland? Oh, I don't know. Somewhere in the world, Volnietz is playing McPhee. I'm just not sure where. Yeah, you'll figure it out. Yes, Garcia is indeed a game away. She's serving for the set. Serving for the match. And, of course, she's a game away from booking France's place in Sydney in the semi-finals. Listen, let's get back to Perth, as I have Zheng just double faulting for the 2nd time in the match. Is it going to cost her in this particular game? Maybe, because she's love 30 down. Interesting forehand return there from is that gone wide? I think it has, and it's love 40. And we've got 3 break points for Iga Swiatek. Love 40. Zheng serving. 3 break points. Backhand return. Forehand. Backhand Iga. Backhand slice. Should be a winning point here for Iga. She should get it, and she does. We are back on serve, ladies and gentlemen. 2-all. How's it going between Garcia and Paulina? Because they haven't started their crucial game. But as Dominic says here in the live chat, a game away. So Iga serving 2-all on the forehands right now. Backhand of Iga. It's a lovely backhand cross court, by the way, from Iga. So it's just lovely ball striking from both players. Really, really turning the screw there. Iga ends up winning the point, but both players really belting the proverbial out of the ball at the moment. Sabalenka has a couple of break points on Bronzetti. And now Iga looking to consolidate her break back. By the way, wherever you're tuning in from, on whatever platform, please do hit the like button. Backhand return from Zheng. Oh, it's a lovely backhand winner there from Iga. Down the line. Potapova has beaten Saville in a third set in Brisbane. It's a lovely volley at the net there from Zheng. 40-15. So Iga Swiatek here, forehand return. Iga on the forehand. It's a good return, by the way, from Zheng. But she's not in charge of the point. It's kind of 50-50 at the moment as they exchange forehands here. Incredible ball striking at the moment. Ooh, a forehand from Iga goes into the net. 40-30. And I think we've got Damien back.
Yeah. I'm back indeed.
We've got a new sort of style here, Damien, with me and you in a particular position on the screen.
Okay.
I'm sort of always playing with it. It's just particular because, although actually it's less relevant now because Garcia Paulini is finished. So Italy are out and France are through. That's a good win for Garcia, actually.
And France are through, right?
Yep, that's how it works.
So do we have a matchup already in the quarterfinals in Sydney?
No, I think France is the first team through, right? Or have I got something wrong there?
Let me see. Winner of Group D will play Norway. So it is France against Norway.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Yeah.
France, Norway, and winner of Group B will play the best runner-up. Group B is going to be won by either Greece or Canada. Likely Canada. Although, actually, no, Felix says well, yeah. Then actually, it still can be Greece easily. So,
So France are in the semis, right? Am I right?
quarters.
Oh, so how come? But this is Poland versus China in the quarters, right?
Yes.
So I'm watching Poland versus China in the quarterfinals, whilst Group D, actually, I can see it now on the screen.
Perf finishes a day earlier.
Oh,
Perf
dear
finished their
me.
group. No, but it actually makes sense because for the semis they all go to Sydney, and they need it. Like they just need
Yeah, they
that
need a
sort of
day.
a
I get
break
that.
because they need to get there. It's like
Yeah,
a couple of time zones, even I think so.
yeah, I know that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But just have a day off. Everyone has a day off, whether you're in Sydney or Perth.
Well, that's also doable. But no, I mean this one I'm not as negative on. Like
I don't
it's
know. I'm
fine.
not a fan of watching rounds 16 and rounds 32 at the same time, and so on and so forth.
I don't really give a care. To be honest with you, but
By the way,
yeah.
have you managed to see any of this Zheng Swiatek match? Because it's been pretty meaty so far.
I just started watching it. But yeah, a friend of mine recently expressed this about the darts world championship as well, because basically
Did that
it
happen
works
there
like
as
this.
well?
So like pre-Christmas, you have the first and second round, and literally on the first day of the event, the defending champion plays last match, and that's the second round because the seeds start from the second round. And so like every day you're gonna have 2 second rounds for the most part in the beginning, and the other matches are round 1. So we have like, I don't know, a few players in round 3 already, whereas some are still playing round 1. And a friend of mine also expressed his disappointment with that. Yeah.
I'm with your friend on this. I find it very, and I thought tennis was the only sport that did it, but apparently darts too.
Yeah, it's probably the only event that has something like this in darts, honestly. But still, yeah, it exists there. Yeah, I think literally every other event is different. But yeah, in the World Championship, at least pre-Christmas, it does work like this.
In a league format, like because of course what I'm thinking of right now is how, in a chilly country such as Poland and Scandinavia, but also the UK. To a lesser extent, where matches can get postponed and they can get delayed and all sorts of things can go on. Over a 9-month period, you might have a team who's played 20 matches, another one who's played 18. But anybody who's been watching football for years, you've got it in your head. You've got 2 games in hand is the expression we use. And we know what that means, because if you're 5 points behind, but you've got 2 games in hand, you're thinking, well, we're almost a point ahead in a way. If you're chasing the title anyway, I mean, if you're in relegation trouble, it's a bit different. But that's a league format, and there's not much you can do about it. I don't know. When it comes to a knockout, I don't want to see a Champions League quarterfinal and a second round or a group. Yeah, it doesn't make sense, and it's confusing actually. For some reason, I thought, although it's written on the screen there, it says Group D, but for some reason, I thought that France-Italy clash was a quarterfinal encounter.
Yeah, Perth has 2 quarterfinals today, whereas Sydney will have 2 over the next 2 days. So it is a bit of a complicated system, yeah.
I like things clean. I'm not a fan of the European Football Championship being 24 countries. It doesn't make any sense to me. 16 or 32.
48 for the World Cup, right? It doesn't make any sense. Obviously, it's just they want more matches, they want more money, basically. Yes. Obviously, it's not the choice sort of made by the fact that they want the sporting quality to be higher. No, definitely not.
The quality here, by the way, honestly, Damon, I mean, I have taken my eye off the ball a bit in this last game, but the previous 5 games was pretty cool.
Oh, I mean, the last game is just Swiatek blasting every shot and, absolutely demolishing Zheng. So honestly, in this game, at least, I wasn't really watching.
Have you come across in some kind of proximity as Swiatek's coach?
No, I mean, other than like personally, no. But I remember when he was doing a lot of commentary on Polish TV, and that's actually how I grew to appreciate him. It
Okay,
was before the Świątek days, but when he was with Radwańska, there was a lot of feeling in Poland, among the fans that like of course she has all that like amazing touch and etc. But like she actually and that was also when she worked with Navratilova, who told her that like she has to go to the gym and like build a muscle mass basically. And she said that she won't because she's afraid of losing all that magic
this is a
feeling
dialogue.
that she has.
This is a conversation or an indirect conversation between Swiatek and Martina Navratilova.
No, I mean Radwańska. When
Oh,
Wiktorowski was
okay,
working
yeah,
with
yeah, yeah,
Radwańska.
yeah, yeah.
When
Yeah, yeah.
Wiktorowski was working with Radwańska. And basically a lot of people in Poland were like blaming him for Radwańska, not winning a slam or like not making much progress because he was with her for like, I can't tell you how many years, but like it was most of her prime at least.
Mhm.
And basically I sort of fell victim to that as well. Like, I was also not a big fan of the guy's coaching because it didn't seem like Radwańska is making any progress. But then he started doing commentary for Eurosport for a while, and I absolutely loved every minute of it. Like, he was actually the most insightful, and you could see that he really knows his stuff, So then when he took Świątek, of course, I was really excited for it, and yeah, like him doing commentary on Polish TV was actually the moment when I started appreciating the guy. Then I still had my issues, with Świątek, of course. But since that Beijing WTA finals double last year, when like her whole tactical approach really changed, I obviously, that's why I believe that he deserved the Coach of the Year and etc. Because finally we are seeing that, well, there is some sort of a before every match there is actually preparation for the specific opponent. Whereas for a while it was just like, Iga was like a machine, and it was fine, it was working. As long as it was working, it was obviously fine. So yeah, right now I really appreciate the guy, and that was, that's sort of hearing him talk about tennis on TV was the moment when I like realized, okay, no, he actually knows his stuff. No, he's
Yeah.
really interesting to listen to. And he was doing a lot of Świątek matches at the time as well, interestingly. I remember Świątek Azarenka. We recently had Juan Ignacio on the Iga and Carlos Tennis show with Vanch.
Mhm.
And he was talking about like the first, moments that he had with Iga as a fan. And he mentioned that match specifically, which I actually remember Wiktorowski commentating on. Świątek Azarenka US Open 2020. As well, the previous round, I think, against Sakia Vickery. And Juan Ignacio mentioned it as like a loss that was really like just had a lot of positives in it, and I agree with that. Like, it was, I think, third round, second round she made like 60 unforced errors but still prevailed against Vickery, and then she loses to Azarenka like 4-6 to 6, but Vika was complimenting her constantly after that loss, and I think everyone was just really amazed with how well she played even in a loss like this. So obviously a month later she won the French, so well.
When did he join her team?
2022, the beginning of 2022.
Yeah. And so you thought, and others as well were starting to think that there was still some untapped potential with Iga, even after she'd won the French Open in 2020 and the year that followed.
I don't know if untapped potential, but certainly, she didn't really follow up her French Open run. She was still in the top 10, right? So I don't think anyone was really that. Like, I don't think at the time the sort of what tennis fans thought in Poland was that she needs a new coach or something like that. I think people were actually fine with the way that her career was progressing. But of course, then Piotr Szeszputowski, who was working with her for like 5 years, was let go. And then Wiktorowski joins, but as I said, but like by this point, I had a very different opinion on him than I did when he was working with Radwańska in the past. So.
It's the post Australian Open 2022 when, of course, she got to the semis, I think.
Yes.
It's between that period, which took in Indian Wells and Miami, of course, and then ultimately as well the French Open. It's that period really when she went into another stratosphere.
37 wins in a row, yeah.
Yeah,
and
that's
why I also like I cannot be too negative on the fact that she was like that they made her play like a machine literally where like she didn't care about the opponent whatsoever and just played her stuff. They eliminated the drop shot, for example, right? Famously, she only played like 2 drop shots in 2022.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and they actually like eliminated that shot by design because it wasn't needed. And of course, it took a while to like for the team and for Iga and then the whole and her whole team to realize that this approach has to stop. But right now it has, and I mean she again hasn't lost since. I don't think she's gonna go 37, but she is on another win streak, and it's not
So-
looking like it's likely to end anytime soon. Really.
What's the win streak at the moment? About 15?
Must be 6 in Beijing, 5 at the WTA finals. So I think this will be number 14 if she wins it.
Yeah. Little struggle here to hold serve. When from 2-love to 4-2, it's felt as though that Zheng is just having to redline a bit more, perhaps than Iga is. This level is a bit sort of normal for Iga, if you like. That's just how it, mainly probably not so much the 2-2, but probably from 2-2 to 4-2. It just felt that way. But having said that, Iga's now just thrown in an unforced error, putting a forehand into the net, so it deuce.
Yeah, I think as we said on the previous stream, like literally any other player against Zheng right now, I would be confident that Qinwen will have a shot. But it is Iga, so it's a tough ask.
Yeah. Good depth, really good depth on a couple of shots here from Qinwen.
Yeah, and that's actually some like interesting play from her. You don't really see her do that, right? I mean, looping the ball back into the back in corner, just
there, yeah, and
yeah,
it's
just
sort of semi-forced an error.
staying in the rally. Yeah, you don't really see that from her.
Do you remember this guy Dominic, who we got in the chat right now? He was with us about 15 months ago, and just hadn't been since.
No, it's the first time I see the avatar. I think
he used to call himself Dominic Federer, but he's dropped the word Federer. But anyway, yeah. So we've got a break point here for Zheng, at least on my screen. Sabalenka's won the first set over Bonzetti in Brisbane.
I forgot Sabalenka is playing that because they had that format in Brisbane where it's like 48 players. I absolutely forget which seeds play because, well, it was just the first round at first, right? So
this is her first match, but it's the second round, right? The last 16.
Yeah. I absolutely don't know the field. Like I know who played in the first round, but I don't know the seeds.
Yeah. So Pliskova, for example, joined the party today. And that's when, of course, she beats Osaka.
Pliskova was still a seed. That's quite interesting.
I know. I thought the same.
Isn't she like 13 in the rankings or something? I thought.
And I think she's number 6 seed. I think I saw 6.
No, that's impossible. Really?
I could be wrong. I thought I just saw 6 next to her name, but
I'm gonna check that. But no, I mean maybe. I mean maybe she's just no. She's 16. So she's actually the last seed. Okay, that's why it's weird. That's why it's surprising that she is a seed. Yeah,
I knew there was 6 in there.
Yeah, because I think I saw. Actually, Lynette is the 9th seed. Then never mind. Yeah, but yeah, Karolina Pliskova is the last seed.
Lynette, where's she ranked these days?
Around the top 20 still, but of course the Australian Open is coming.
Yeah.
And it's not gonna be that big a hit. Like she loses that, and she's like top 50 still, like or around the top 50. Which is more or less where she was for the past 5 years. So actually, I'm way less negative on her season in 2023 than most people are. Like she made a big milestone. She had an amazing event. She didn't follow it up, but it wasn't that much different compared to her other results from like previous years. So I don't think she actually did poorly. Yeah, and 5-2 up. By the way, a couple of days ago on one of these streams, I was talking about something, and I have this question that is actually kind of tough to answer, I guess. But when you're thinking of like the WTA tour in 2027, 2028, something like that, like so like in a few years, let's say not 10 years, but like 5-6 years.
Yeah.
What are sort of the main players that come to your mind as like, the people who should be dominating that?
Dominating, no, but the first player that came into my head was Qinwen Zheng, actually. I know she's obviously on front of me on the screen right now, but she's there. Swiatek's not going anywhere for the next 5 years. I think
I'm just
Sabalenka.
curious if you'll name the same players as I did, basically.
Okay,
That's why I'm
somebody
looking at.
that probably doesn't come to the forefront of my mind is probably Sabalenka. What's Sabalenka
Okay.
right now? Is she 27?
Yeah,
26?
I actually didn't name Sabalenka, so I get that.
She's someone who just sort of probably just drop off because of her age, and because I'm just trying to think women players in their 30s.
You named 2 of the 4 players that I mentioned already.
Just give me a second. I don't see, if you'd have said this question 2 years ago about the year 2025 or 2026, if you like, so 5 years from 2 years ago.
Sabalenka is 25, by the way, so
Okay,
we might give her
but
a
there's
bit more
something
time.
about I love her, and I think this is going to be probably another good year for her that may well include another slam. But I'm not sure that I see Sabalenka being in the legends circle where I imagine Iga to be, for example. I could get that wrong, and I'll be happy to be proven wrong. But I don't know if I see what does legend mean? Multiple slams, obviously, and we're probably talking about across the 3 surfaces. I guess then you're in. If you've got a slam on each of the 3 surfaces, you're probably in the sort of legendary status, such as Ash Barty. I think she has one on each surface, for example. Who else? I'm just trying to think of the top 10. I mean, getting two of the 4 is not that difficult because I think they are probably the easy ones.
There is one more very easy player.
Just give me a second. Can I look at the rankings right now?
Sure.
I'm going to look at them. I'm going to look.
I mean,
at them
getting them right. I mean, I'm just sort of looking at if our
Coco's
answers
not.
are comparable.
Coco's going to be top 10 for probably the rest of the next 5 years.
That's the third player I mentioned, and that's the one that I said was easy. And the other one is like very high profile as well, just not ranked as high anymore. I mean, and not yet at least. Yeah, I was mostly trying to see if Qinwen was also going to be on your mind. Well, of course, we're watching a match of hers.
That might have been influenced by the fact we watched
it. It is easier, but basically that was the whole point of this. Like, I was just wondering if she was going to be sort of one of the main stars for you, and then for me, I believe that will be the case.
Who's the other one? Because I think it's really Andreeva.
Exactly, yeah. These were the 4 players that I mentioned. Yeah. Obviously, there might be someone we haven't seen yet as well, but or maybe someone we like barely know. I don't know, Brenda Fruhvirtova or someone. But these were the 4 that I mentioned. Yeah,
I probably have. Maybe I have more confidence in Andreeva than even Qinwen Zheng.
I think I do as well, but
it's a bit more of a gamble, but it's one that I'd be prepared to take if you like.
Yeah,
3 set points here for Swiatek.
Maybe it was like a few months ago. Yeah, I think so. There's this Turkish tennis coach on Twitter, Mert Ertunga. He's currently coaching Zeynep Sonmez.
I follow him, yeah.
Yeah, who lost to Clara Burel yesterday. But yeah, he's a great guy. I actually even met him in real life. And he had this thing on Twitter where, like, a few years ago, I think it was 4 years ago, he asked people who will be the ATP number 1 and ATP number 1 and 2 and WTA number 1 and 2 in 4 years. And so recently that period came to an end, and he asked people to do that again. So, like, after the 2023 US Open, he asked people to pick their number 1s and 2s for the ATP and WTA for 2027. And of course, this is just a guessing game, literally.
Yeah.
So my answers were Alcaraz Rune for the ATP and Swiatek Andreeva for the women's. I don't know if that will actually mean anything, if this is actually going to be real, if they are really going to be in the conversation. Well, Alcaraz Rune and Swiatek were probably really certain about that there will be at least like in the top 10 or something like that, barring injuries. Andreeva is probably more of a gamble, but like that's basically what I'm trying to say, is that her position sort of in the sport, in our perception right now, is that she's like a lock to be a top player. And Qinwen, I would agree that she's less of a lock simply, and that's why it's even a question. Like, that's why I was interested to hear if you were going to mention her at all.
Qinwen's serving stats went pretty horribly down. I mean, from 2-2 in particular onwards, and the first serve points one is quite ugly. I think it's 38% for the set. As Iga does get it, and she was pretty erratic. That last game, by the way, at 5-2 was done and dusted pretty quickly and comfortably. And from 2-love we've gone, so it's 6 games in a row. It's actually, despite how really competitive the first, maybe even 6 games were, even at 4-2, it's actually sort of become a hidden bagel for Iga by winning 6 games in a row.
And we've got Nurlan in the chat. Why not even Coco? Why Andreeva over Coco? I just feel like Coco has a pretty, like, she has a very high floor, but obviously there are still issues regarding especially her forehand side. And like, yeah, a solid top 5 player in the long run, sure, but I'm not sure she's gonna like dominate the tour. That's basically what I'm thinking of. But of course, again, it's just a guessing game, you know.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be a guessing game. Everyone knows it's a guessing game, and well,
there's also 5 years. I mean, of course, there's the long-held argument that there's players that we don't know that they don't exist yet, etc.
If it's going to be number 2, number 1 in 4 years, then we probably have at least heard of that player already. But it might as well, be someone who's 16, 17 at the moment, and then there's no real way of predicting that. No.
Less of a guessing game and much more astute, I would suggest, is the suggestion that a player that you're watching who's 14 right now, for example, and you go, that person's going to the top. That person's whatever that, that's a vague term, but we all know what the top means. It means winning slams, going to world number 1,
Yeah, I feel like that's actually really tough to do. Like a lot of juniors.
Christopher Clary says he said it about Federer. He says he said it about Federer when he saw him at...
I definitely said it about Alcaraz when he was like 14 or 15, but I think that's a special example. I don't think anyone was saying that about, well, maybe when he was like 14, 15, but when Rune was like 16, 17, he actually had a lot of, like, people were disappointed with how he's going at first. He was getting a lot of these wildcards to big events and like not doing anything with them. But yeah, I think Alcaraz is a special case. I can't, of course, remember how it was with Federer. But in a lot of cases, I think good juniors can also be misleading. So I sort of tend to just wait out for someone like Alcaraz to like actually be very confident that he will be winning slams, right? And with Alcaraz, I think everyone who was watching him at like age 15 was already, he's gonna win slams, and obviously that happened. But even when we have juniors right now who are extremely exciting, like, I don't know, especially Fonseca, of course, I'm still not saying he's going to win slams. Like when I say that he's like a guaranteed top player, I'm going like, I don't know, top 20, top 10, just at the elite level. But I feel like it's very hard to, at this stage at least of their careers, to actually guess that this player will sort of take an even bigger step. With Alcaraz, it was very different because I just think everyone saw that insane potential right away and was like sort of, that's certain that he was going to get there.
I wonder, Fonseca. How old is he? 18?
Fonseca, no. Fonseca is, I think, going to be 18 this year.
Okay.
Or is he actually still 16? Let me check that, because he's either 16 or 17 right now. He's 17, yeah. He will be 18 in August. August, of course, a very good month for tennis players.
I wonder if someone from his team, I could get them to come on the show. That would be quite cool.
I have no clue who's on his team, but
no, me neither. I don't know either.
And I wonder where he's one of the 3 players who are
from Rio. He's from Rio. Okay.
Yeah, he's one of the 3 players who are sponsored by On Running, or however it's called, or On Sportswear, right? The Swiatek Shelton company.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
They know their stars, definitely. Fonseca will be in Rio. So if you're in Rio, you will definitely.
There you go. That's what I'm
doing. Whatever.
About.
Last year he got a wild card. He played Alex Molchan and got destroyed, but like he was so tight in that match. I remember people saying that maybe it was too early or something, but like I didn't feel like it. I just believe that he's going to be able to compete at his best.
He's going to be 18 in August.
Yeah, 18 in August. Yeah,
And according to
Um,
Wikipedia, the amount of prize money he's earned so far is $28,000. According
That's
to
on the
Wikipedia.
Pro Tour or with the juniors? No,
I
on the
don't
Pro
know,
Tour.
28,000. Where does that come from? I don't know.
He's had like 5 challengers, 2 quarterfinals. So I don't think it must be something else as well, or maybe the Rio wildcard actually has given him a chunk of that as well. It's an ATP 500 after all. But yeah, he's only played 5 challengers, I believe, losing his first professional match with a double bagel, which kind of shows you that
Oh,
the early experiences aren't that important. And
No.
well, in 5 challengers, he's already beaten Kovacevic, Sejbov-Wild, Navone, Tirante. So that's actually a very good resume, given that the first match was a double bagel loss.
I wonder where's Sejbov-Wild from. I wonder. I'm gonna have a look now.
No clue.
No. I just wonder if Rio is the hotbed for tennis players, or actually, I've seen the place where he's born, and I still don't have a clue where it is.
Yeah, I don't know where Sejbov-Wild is born. No, where Sejbov-Wild was born.
It's called Marechal Candido Rondon in Paraná, the state of Paraná, but
Mhm.
I still don't know where that is. So
Yeah, I know where Paraná is more or less, but
do you?
no, but no.
It does
But
kind of
no.
look quite posh, and with some German-looking buildings.
Well, his surname is
It sounds
a
German.
little German, right? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Of course, there was a bit of a massive story as well relating to that.
Yeah, indeed. Oh, oh, really? Oh, you mean in terms of politically?
Yeah, I don't know if
To
we
be honest
were on
with
the
you,
same page,
anyone
but
with oh, it's near Porto Alegre. Oh, okay. It's not near to Porto Alegre. It's a bit of an exaggeration, but it's south anyway. Okay, not far from the Paraguay border. Anyway, I'm sure lots of people are coming here for Brazilian geography.
Does Sabalenka have the best serve motion style in WTA, says Nurlan. Well, given her massive issues with the second serve, I don't know. But yeah, first serve, I mean, she's up there. Probably not as good as like Pliskova, for example, right? But
An ugly backhand there from Zheng. I'm almost a little bit disappointed by my giddiness after the first 5 or 6 games when you joined about just how good the level was, because I was actually also saying that I thought Zheng against the Serbian girl that she played last week,
Danilovic.
I thought that was a pretty ugly performance.
By the way, Olga Danilovic also is one of the players who Tomasz Wiktorowski worked with. So that's
really? Okay.
a fun twist. Yeah.
Yeah. What about the service motion from Qinwen Zheng, by the way? What do you think about that?
Yeah. I mean, once she gets like better placement, spot serving,
It's quirky though, right?
It is a little bit. And the toss is definitely quite...
It's the arch back that really strikes me.
Yeah, a lot can go wrong with it. And I think we can see it on a daily basis with her game.
6 double faults today, for example.
Yeah, I'm more so thinking about the first serve, but yeah, you're right as well. But like even on the first serve, she just doesn't really get too much consistency, spot serving, placement. But if she gets that, like she has pretty elite pace on it. It's just a matter of precision that isn't really her strong suit. But there is a lot of untapped potential in it for sure.
Sabalenka's on the verge of opening her own bakery on Bonzetti with a bagel.
Will it be a bakery here on the Perf court?
Could be. Which even by Iga standards, I think would be quite impressive, bearing in mind she lost the first 2 games. It is Qinwen Zheng.
Oh, so she was 2-0 down.
Yeah.
Oh, so it is already like a virtual.
That's
bagel.
why I think I called it a hidden bagel at the end.
Yeah. Most of the time people call it a virtual bagel. I don't know if that's actually a term that you're gonna find on Wikipedia, but I feel like it's very well known among tennis fans actually to call this a virtual bagel.
But to be honest with you, it's now 8 games in a row.
Now it is 8. Yeah, it could be a virtual double bagel as well, which is also a term that's used. Actually, yeah, people call that a lot.
I hadn't heard it, but yeah, I just invented the hidden bagel.
37% first serve for Qinwen.
Yeah.
So.
Horrible. Like it was 38 at the end of the first set, so she got worse.
More so again, like relating to what I was talking about. Like she just doesn't get too much consistency on it and can have days like this. Where sometimes when she finds a lot of these and they're like 190 an hour or 190 kilometers an hour, of course it's gonna be amazing. But sometimes she just doesn't have any consistency on it. Can't rely on getting it in, and then it could be a bit rough for her. But yeah, still, I mean, she's playing Iga, and that's the main reason for her losing so far. How do you beat that woman at the moment? And that's sort of like the Djokovic conundrum. Although I feel like Djokovic is still a lot more reliable than Iga.
It's funny because Djokovic doesn't crush the opponents in the same way that Iga does.
Yeah, it's actually Swiatek who started playing in a more Djokovic-like manner at the end of last year, rather than the other way around. Yeah.
Yeah. 15-all. I'm not sure where I sense, but we haven't really spoken about it. But I sense we're a bit closer in our streams at the moment. I'm at 15-all anyway.
I'm at 15-all as well. But yeah, Swiatek, I guess, hasn't really needed it this year so far. But yeah, at the end of last year, it was actually her who sort of had to learn to play more efficient tennis. And yeah, a few of her performances I would definitely describe as Djokovician.
Yeah.
However you want to call it. Of course, she does have like more firepower than Novak generally. So.
I saw Kubler end up winning that match that we were talking about quite a bit.
Karatsev fell and retired. He
okay. Didn't know that. Did he?
Yes, he saved the second set. Yes, he saved the second set. Kubler was serving for it. Karatsev saved the second set, but he fell and retired. Yes. So it is Kubler should be pretty straightforward, it seems. But who knows? But yeah, Ugo Humbert maybe will be a big test.
Yeah, Humbert's won today, I think.
Has Humbert played Nadal ever?
Not off the top of my head.
Djokovic he's definitely had, but I'm not sure about Nadal. I also cannot name the match from memory. Let me see if that ever happened. Yeah, it doesn't seem like it did, no, because I don't see when I typed in Humbert Nadal head-to-head, I don't have the ATP link. Yeah, they haven't played. I remember him playing Djokovic at Wimbledon, but no, Nadal, clearly not. So that's going to be pretty interesting. If that happens, because of course they need to win. Humbert has to beat someone. I can't remember who. Maybe Jordan Thompson? No, I'm not sure. I think it is Jordan Thompson. And then Nadal has to beat Jason Kubler.
Sabalenka has indeed bageled her opponent. So 6-3, 6-love over Bronzetti. So she's into the quarterfinals, I think it is. In Brisbane.
No, I think it's going to be the third round still.
You sure?
Isn't it? Yeah, because they had the 16 seeds, and that system wouldn't really work if this was the right.
So round.
Yeah, because they have the 16 seeds. So the seeds come into play in the second round, and you still have 16 players after the second round. So yeah, it's going to be the third round still.
Third round and then quarterfinals. Yeah. Okay. So is that this? So the 250 is that's different though, right? Rafa will be in the quarterfinals if he beats Kubler.
Yes. There's one less.
Okay, that's probably where I'm getting confused.
Yeah. Because Brisbane ATP is a 32-player draw, whereas
32 players, 24.
WTA 48. Yeah.
Got it. Yeah, 48. Yeah, initially.
This is a bit like watching Djokovic, though, like in the sense that it's a break and a setup. Like in most matches, you would be like, maybe there's still a shot, but it is Swiatek right now, and you're like, yeah, it's done.
Yeah,
I can start focusing on other things. I can start talking about all things tennis rather than this.
Yeah,
which might be wrong, maybe.
I mean, 40-15 to Deuce just makes this game at least interesting.
It does, but the next serve from Swiatek, it doesn't.
Okay.
And yeah, what are you going to do? You know, this is the sort of dominance that they've had. Maybe we should have a Djokovic Alcaraz. A Djokovic Swiatek podcast. No,
Yeah.
of course. The whole part of the whole point of this was that Alcaraz was going to be there for a while alongside Swiatek, whereas a Djokovic podcast, which actually a few of these are actually existing at the moment, right? They might run into the issue that well, soon enough he might be gone off the tour, but well, it will be
Yeah,
like 2
that's the
years or
thing.
something at least.
I mean, it could be a couple of years, but yeah, that's the thing when you sort of pigeonhole yourself a little bit. But then there's also that's what you want to do in a way. So yeah, no problem with it.
That's why it can't be a Djokovic Swiatek podcast, but still, that's sort of would be right at the moment, at least in terms of the players who are most dominant.
I mean, I guess you could do a sort of Serbian tennis podcast. That might work. I mean, you'd
Hamad, maybe.
Yeah, you're gonna lose. You're not gonna get. No, I think you'd still get your Novak fans, and Swiatek, by the way, is consolidated, and so she's 3-love up. You're still but you're gonna have to do a show. Let's say you do an hour show. Your first 20 minutes can be about Novak, and it can be like that for 50% of the year. Yeah,
I mean, the opportunities are endless. You know, we were joking about it with Vans. I think that basically you could do like pick a totally random tennis player and then produce a podcast about them, right? Why not? Maybe there would be less storylines to follow. You would probably be talking more about like the matches, the opponents, whatever. But still, yeah. I mean,
Qinwen
at
Zheng
some point it would be a bit futile because you can literally do it about every single player. And
I mean, what about if your player is out for 6 months? I mean,
yeah, then you are in trouble. But yeah, actually, a Chinese podcast would work very well at the moment, right? We talked about this guy before on Twitter, on the stream, but that's a Chinese journalist, right? Ben Zheng is like doing very well on Twitter at the moment, just because there's like a lot of excitement regarding the players there, especially Qinwen, of course, on the WTA side, but of course on the men's, they've never had a top 100 player before Zheng, and Yibing Wu and Yuan Shang are also in there, so like, yeah, a Chinese tennis podcast, I think at the moment would do very well.
Yeah, I was thinking about that, not that specifically, but just like as I was having dinner on my own, I was just staring to the distance, and I was thinking of the fact that I'm aware of 2 or 3 Spanish-speaking podcasts or YouTube channels, I should say, actually. Much like Talking Tennis, if you like, although actually, to be fair, much bigger. But actually, I'm not aware of a Portuguese-speaking one, which, you know.
Is John now having issues, or is it me? No, I stopped hearing you, so maybe the battery is down in your microphone. Yes, Ghosty, you got won 9 games in a row. Portuguese speaking podcast, I don't know. I mean, it feels like something that Jose Morgado could do. But yeah, I know a few people on Portuguese tennis Twitter, if you may, and they're certainly doing a lot of good work in terms of like well, when there's events in Portugal, there's a lot of good coverage from them. There's also this Portuguese YouTube channel, which is like related to the Portuguese website. I think it's called like Racket C. I don't know how to call it, how to say it in Portuguese, of course. Well, it's not a Portuguese name per se, I guess, but basically they also post press conference videos from the challengers that they have in Portugal. So it's really good. Like I know a lot of people actually from that website, even though I haven't really.
A lot of challengers in Portugal.
Yeah, Actually, yes. Maya at the end of the year, there's an indoor clay event. This is Nuno Borges' hometown. You've got Oeiras every single year. This week, actually, we have an Oeiras indoor challenger. Last year there were two at the start of the year, but also there's a clay one in around May. There was a year after the pandemic when Oeiras on clay held 4 events in total. So like after the pandemic, they were one of the main venues alongside maybe Biella in Italy, which really started doing a ton of events. And actually, Carlos Alcaraz, this is his last challenger title, Oeiras 2021. So when he beat, I think, Nakashima along the way and maybe Facundo Bagnis in the final. So Oeiras since the pandemic has really picked it up. And as well, you have Maya, you have Lisbon, you have Braga. So as a whole, I think last year there were probably about
There's one in Lisbon.
6 challengers.
There's one in Lisbon itself, the city.
Yeah, there's one in Lisbon as well. That's around October, maybe. Pedro Sousa retired there last year. The former world number 99 and a finalist at the Buenos Aires ATP 250. So
He made the top 100.
Yeah, just barely 99.
That's
He's
good.
one of the
That's
players who just got there for like a couple of weeks, like Kimmer Kopejans, for example. For a while, Michael Moe, but right now, of course,
Liam
right
Bodie,
now he's not in the top 100.
Liam Bodie as well. Right now is in that
Liam as well has only had a few weeks. Maybe he can still get there, with the Hong Kong
he
run.
may well return. I mean, especially he might even return there in the next few days or so.
In the next few days, yes, but after he drops the Vilnius points, it could be a little tough in February.
Yeah, but that's a while away. Oh, it's a few weeks away anyway.
Liam still got to 93, I guess, so it's not that. But I think there's also Antoine Oang, who's obviously not anywhere close right now, but he was 98th. So there are a few like this. Oh, and Yuri Rodionov is probably the prime example. He's currently like 110 or something like that, but his point situation also isn't amazing, and his form isn't amazing. But basically, last year he broke the top 100 at literally word number 100, and he only got there for a week. So he literally had 1 week in the top 100 at number 100. In fact, the ATP even missed him when there's this thing like on the ATP Challenger Tour section of the ATP website. There's this media guide in PDF, which they release every week. And they even missed him there in top 100 debuts. I had to write the media manager of the Challenger Tour to tell them that hey, you missed Rodionov, because he was literally number 100 for a week.
Yeah, there's been some really good returns of serve from Swiatek, but I have pulled a few faces at Zheng's shots from time to time where it's been a little bit like she could have done better, put it that way. So yeah, it's as Ghosty sort of joined the chat a little while ago to say, hang on a second, it was 2-love to Zheng when I left, and now I come back and Iga's won 9 games in a row. Yep, there we go. She's being eagered, and it must be pretty demoralizing for the opponent, no matter who you are. And even if Iga's done it to 50 other players, I think that's the only solace you could take. It's just that you're one of about 50 players on the tour that Iga's probably done it to in the last year or two.
Yeah, now there was a chance for Qinwen to win a game, but of course it also didn't pan out. We have a long replay of the Qinwen service motion. Maybe they're trying to tell us something.
Yeah.
But anyway, I don't think it's quite the case of Djokovic Zheng, where there I just sort of felt like it's like I'm never going to be as good as that guy. Here, I think Qinwen's just probably more like I'm just not as good as her at the moment.
Absolutely.
But still, like the gap is huge. Yeah.
I mean, at the moment and also today, I think for, like I said, let's say I'll go as far as saying 6 games, maybe even 7. So 5 until 5-2. I know Iga had won 5 games in a row, but it still felt, you know what, the gap isn't that big. But it was just unsustainable as it appeared from Zheng, and she's just from 5-2 in particular just fallen off a cliff.
But she clinches a game. Actually, a pretty semi-difficult smash. I was worried. But she does win a game.
I mean, it's not a Dominic Thiem cliff, at least.
Yeah, I was thinking about that much too. Yeah, I mean, probably because we watched it like less than 24 hours ago. But when you said something about like her, going at Swiatek for a while and like keeping up with her, and then quickly stopping that, I did think of Dominic Thiem as well. Yeah,
there's always some mysterious figures on the benches that at this United Cup event, and I'm not sure, but I thought I just saw Maradona on the bench of China. But I'll need to get a second look at that, I think, to confirm those reports. And if that is indeed Maradona, I think that would be the biggest scoop in not just talking tennis history, but perhaps history. That would be an incredible thing to. I mean, basically, Elvis being alive, that would be a pretty cool one, I think, to have. But
Maybe that was Buyun Chaoketa. He could look like Maradona a little bit. I think,
yeah, I mean, it's a weighty, beardy guy.
Oh, Beardy.
Beardy.
No, then no. Then
Maradona,
then
by
it
the
must be
way,
someone from the team. Yeah,
didn't always have a beard, but he had his moments when he wore one.
yeah, he had. Not in his
Just-
playing career, I think.
No,
Later
not in his
on,
playing,
yeah.
no. But just when he just couldn't be bothered anymore. I know a funny anecdote regarding Diego, where a journalist went to interview him at about midday at his house, and it had been like the third or fourth time this particular journalist had tried to interview him, and the previous two or three Diego just hadn't turned up. So this time the meeting was actually at Diego's house. So anyway, goes there, and it's like 1 PM, and somebody opens the door. He goes in, and Diego's in bed basically, and it's pretty tricky to get him out of bed, put it that way. And Diego does eventually come down the stairs after a bit of persuasion, I think. And Diego's just really angry. He's just really angry. Nobody, not even my mother, gets me up at this time of day, he said. Anyway.
Quite the
Sean,
character for sure. Sean is asking whether this is mostly power advantage that Iga has over other players. I don't think so. Certainly, like if you ask me who hits a bigger ball, is it Swiatek or Sabalenka? It's definitely Arena. And I don't know, you've got many other players who basically blasted even more than Swiatek. But it's definitely like the combination of spin and pace that she has. The heaviness of the stroke that is like so, especially on the forehand side, of course, that is pretty much unmatched in the women's game. Like you don't really see it, and perhaps that's why it's such a big, that's such a tough hill to climb for many other players. And also the movement as well, right? The level of athleticism, both her and Goff really in different ways, but like this is something we haven't really seen in the women's game yet.
Maybe in the circles that Ghosty mixes in, it might not get mentioned enough, but I think the circles I'm familiar with, I think Iga's footwork gets mentioned a lot. I hear it. I think she's probably, I mean, she's number one in the world, but I think she's number one in the world in terms of footwork too.
Yeah, for Goff, it's probably going to be like raw speed. For Iga, it's like the athleticism, sliding, and etc. But they're both, I think, the best the best athletes we've had, and we can easily say that because, well, in the previous age, we can't really compare the movement that Martina Navratilova or Chris Evert were pulling off on the court to what's happening right now, and that's no shade to Navratilova or Evert. Maybe if they're born right now, maybe they would actually manage to, still be top players, who knows, but it was a different sport, and like that sort of level of athleticism, speed, flexibility wasn't really required of you. So clearly I think Swiatek and Goff are basically the best we've seen in this regard. Like even if you think of players from, I don't know, like Serena or Sharapova, it's not close really between, well, maybe someone like Halep is actually somewhat comparable, but most of the time we could easily say, I think, that they are the best athletically in terms of like what we've seen so far on the women's tour. They're the best athletically of all time.
Breaking news: Zheng has a break point.
Yeah, we'll see if it's breaking news or if it's no breaking news.
If it's a false dawn. Yes. 30-40. I'm not gonna lie to you, I want to break a serve here. I mean, I'm not that vested in the match, but
yeah, I mean,
at least just give us something for something beyond those first two games.
I mostly want a glass of water right now, and then I'll think about whether I want a break of serve. And that's when I go get my glass of water.
Okay, maybe Damien knows something I don't, because I'm a few seconds behind him. Ah, there we go. I thought that might be the case. Indeed, we have had the break of serve. So, I mean, if this was any other match, you would say game on. If it was any other pairing of players, you would certainly say game on. But it still feels, because it's Iga Swiatek, it's a long way back. But we are back on serve in the second set, and my YouTube stream has chosen the moment to freeze. But anyway, we're back on serve, and good news for Qinwen Zheng. If two Polish players win on the same day, Damien has to sing Poland is not yet lost. Okay, my stream is rebooted.
There's this one guy on the Polish bench who it kind of frustrates me because I keep seeing him at events. He's sitting next to Daniel Michalski, I think, right now. Yeah. And I know he works like alongside some Polish doubles players, but I never know what his name is. And yeah, just frustrating to me because I can never remember that. Poland is not yet lost.
Yeah,
we don't call it like this, but I understand what
I think we've had this conversation before. Ghost is asking a question that I think I've mentioned to you before anyway, about how Italy and I think Sweden as well are both mentioned in the Polish national anthem. It's like March. I know it's March, right? And go back to Italy, go back to Sweden. Or something.
Yes, Italy is mentioned because it was literally written by like someone. It wasn't written as the Polish national anthem. It was written like a song of the Polish army, which was in Italy at the time, or something like that.
Okay.
And it basically says, from the soil of Italy to Polish soil, or something like that in the chorus. Whereas Sweden, it's relating to the 17th century war, and there's I think it's mentioned as like literally like the Swedish occupation or something like that. One of the main heroes of that, Hetman Czarniecki, is mentioned, and then it's like after the Swedish occupation, po szwedzkim zaborze. So yeah, Sweden is mentioned in a very negative way, whereas Italy, I guess, is fine in that. But yeah, it wasn't meant, of course, at first as a national anthem, which is basically why that's mentioned. It's like a very very relating to the times when it was written.
We've got a couple of likes on Facebook. One from someone called Street Governor Jonathan. So thank you, Street Governor Jonathan, for that like. And I mean, if that's your real name, fine.
Is that an official position?
Yeah, right. Man.
Do you get paid for being a street governor?
A street governor of Church Street in the middle of some village in Texas. And the other like is from somebody called Anna, but her surname is like she got her fingers caught in the door. So I presume
she's clearly Polish. Yeah,
that's what I mean. Polish. I assume that because whenever her name is like, then I assume it's Polish. I mean, it's a slight exaggeration. It's Bichik, I guess.
Yeah, Bichik. Yeah, she's clearly Polish. Yeah.
Oh, I mean, she could be American.
Yeah, I mean the surname is clearly Polish. Yeah,
yeah.
That's what
a friend of mine, John Borowski. I think he's an American dude I know, but he is of Polish ancestry. John Borowski as well once said to me, he was telling me a dish that he had with bacon and pesto, and I said, bacon and pesto, does that work? He said, you can put bacon with anything. I was like, okay.
He's not wrong. He's not wrong. I mean, in a way, you could also put pesto with anything. I think
maybe that's a little higher risk, I think. But an ugly forehand drive volley here, and it doesn't feel like game on. You know, any other match in the world, I think, maybe not Novak at a slam on grass or Rod Laver, but I don't know. Even then, you know, a set and a break, and Novak's back on serve in the second set, and you go, well, you know, get to a tie break or something. You might, I don't know. It didn't feel like it anyway. And I could be wrong, and maybe Qinwen's going to go on. Oh, it's a lovely forehand winner there, though, from Iga.
Yeah, no, I very much agree with that. Like I haven't had the rush of adrenaline, after Qinwen
No,
went.
no.
Yeah.
I mean, even when I said I wanted to have a break, it was more just to sort of have a couple of 6-2s or a 6-2, 6-3 rather than a rather than a 6-2, 6-1.
Don't know where you are though, but she just had a couple of very quick cleanups though after her first serve, which again kind of really shows you what sort of potential is there once that first serve is in. But of
I
course,
think
it
because
hasn't
my
been in
stream
at a
is
very high rate.
my
Yeah.
stream has frozen a couple of times. I think I'm a bit
Okay.
further behind than I was. So
Yeah,
I'm going to go
I
back.
think so. Yeah, you're probably watching like the second point right now, the
I'm at
second
30,
break point.
40,
Or?
yeah. 30, 40, yeah.
But like that, these 2 points were literally won with her serve. I don't care
Yeah.
that she had to hit a couple more shots, but it was what
Yeah.
what her serve gave her. So, yeah, again, kind of showing what sort of advantage you can get from that maybe in the future. A couple of close matches as well in Brisbane right now. But
I've got
anyway,
Duckworth. I've got Duckworth on one of my screens.
yeah. And Arnaldi Klein as well. I'm probably gonna catch Arnaldi Klein, in fact, at least the last few games now.
Oh, break point again for Eager. She's got it back to juice. Again, it's a serve.
Oh, Jesus, I'm such an idiot. I started looking for the Klein stream and I just put on Swiatek Zheng again. I mean, I have both open, but I don't need 2 streams from Swiatek Zheng. Jesus, 5 a.m. or no 6 a.m. talk.
She has another break point. I'm just still trying to zoom in and zoom back out again.
Yeah, and I did that again. I put on Swiatek Zheng again. My grandpa was recently diagnosed with Alzheimer's, and sometimes I feel like I already have it too. Jesus.
Well, they do say that. Well, I mean, it is more. I don't know if there's a lot of evidence for it, but they do talk about it being ancestral.
It is, yeah. My mom and her sister were sort of ordered to have like they have to pay something for in order to get like checked whether they have the risk of that or not. But I'm not sure if they're gonna do it actually, because it's a bit of a, well, it's not a death sentence, but like it would actually scare you and you'd feel like
Oh,
you're an
right. You
Alzheimer
mean
of
if you
sorts.
knew you were going to have it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm not sure if they're even going to do it, but they, the doctors told them to check whether they are at risk or not.
Yeah, at risk, yeah, is one thing, but you can even be told basically it's extremely likely or whatever, right?
I don't think so.
No,
Like I think that wasn't
just
really
at
a
risk.
possibility. Like I think it was really only at risk. Yeah. There was this. It reminds me. It's of course a much more extreme case, but in House MD, it was that there was this character who had Huntington's, I think, and it was much more extreme, as I said, because it was there like 10 years to live or something like that. But she didn't really want to like talk about it, and she didn't want to do anything about it, but was of course weighing in on her quite a lot. So I get that if they won't even like try to check whether they're at risk or not, because well, I wouldn't want to know, I think.
Yeah. And again, the serve gets Zheng out of trouble with an ace this time, I think.
Grandma Ghosty, no, it's fine. you know, it's fine. I'm very emotionally detached from that. Like I sort of feel like we lost her and want to get her back really, because she's like, yeah, she's not really responsive anymore. I'm surprised.
Wrocław.
Yeah,
Wrocław.
Wrocław is the pronunciation. I'm surprised Damon is even watching a WTA match. I get what you mean. Someone actually a couple of days ago asked me on Twitter whether I started watching more WTA, because I was apparently tweeting about it a few times. But no, I watch a lot of Swiatek matches for sure, and on the main tour from time to time I will catch something. It's just mostly a matter of not having enough time to follow both to this extent. And indeed, that character that I mentioned went on to marry Harry Styles, although of course that was in real life. And for all I know, Olivia Wilde does not have Huntington's. So
Oliver Wilde and Harry Styles have married each other?
I don't know if married, but they definitely were together. And since Ghosty
Okay.
says so with quite a lot of confidence, then probably.
Zheng
yes.
held, by the way. That's quite impressive. Because I
You're
just didn't
shocked. You sound shocked.
Yeah,
at
because
that.
Iga had like 4 or 5 break points, and it kept going. It was like 15-40, juice, break point Iga, juice, break point Iga, juice, break point Iga, juice, and then I logged out and logged back in again, and in that period it went from juice to Qinwen Zheng has held. So that's what really shocked me more than.
So is this when you start is this when the adrenaline rush comes in, or not?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet. If Zheng wins the set and gets to 5-love in the third, maybe then.
No, I think if she wins the set, I would already be on the edge of my seat.
I'm not quite. No, that wouldn't put me on the edge. I don't think it wouldn't be enough. I mean, it does depend on the manner of the win, of course. But Olivia Wilde, yeah, I don't know a lot about her, but I know that film that that Harry Styles was in, like last year, I think it was, that actually got generally like bad reviews.
Yeah, I can't remember the title, but I know.
No,
what
I
you
can't
mean.
remember either. I went to the cinema to see that.
I
just
haven't
found
seen it. I haven't seen it.
I found it a bit confusing, to be honest with you. But that could be me. I won't deny that I get confused quite easily in the cinema. Yeah. I saw Inglourious Bastards over Christmas, by the way. That's not a film that confuses me, by the way, not too much. But I will say this: it's I think the third time I've seen it, and I think I
doubt it was in the cinema, though, right?
The first time I saw it was in the cinema, but no, of course, the one I saw over Christmas, it wasn't. But the first time I saw Inglourious Basterds was in a cinema in Switzerland. I saw that with about like 8 other people. It was a rare occurrence where we were like sort of a group of about 8 people that went to cinema together.
Were you the only people in the room?
No, but that would be funny.
That's how it seemed, yeah, when you said.
I don't know how it is in Poland, but in the UK, you don't get like reserved seating. So I know I think in Switzerland you do. I think
no,
so. You've got
in Poland you do. You can.
Yeah,
you can
and I think most
reserve
countries do.
Yeah, I think I didn't see Inglourious Basterds in a cinema. I don't think so. I definitely saw The Hateful Eight and Django in the cinema out of Tarantino movies, but I don't think Inglourious Basterds. Speaking of weird cinema experiences, I once was at a movie when I was, I think, one of just 2 people watching. So
Yeah.
that was pretty fun.
Yeah.
But I actually enjoyed it. Who cares? I mean, I wanted to see the movie, not interact with other people.
I mean, you're not going there. You're going there for the vibe and the atmosphere. Yeah, definitely. Because I was going to say you're not going for the atmosphere, but you are. That's part of the thing.
Depends on the movie.
But I will say this: that I've actually been in the cinema and been annoyed by people laughing at a film that wasn't very funny. And I think it was. I'm trying to think. I think it was The Hangover, maybe. Which is okay. It was okay. It was all right, but it wasn't worthy of the guffaws of laughter of basically everyone in the theater.
Sure.
It was okay. It was a film with maybe 2 or 3 laughs, but
it's definitely like a comedy that doesn't have too many, like, I don't know,
laugh out loud
slapstick moments and laugh out loud moments. Yeah, it's sort of more of a fun time overall, but there's no actual like I'm gonna laugh out loud for that.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm gonna
be
people
in the
on the
cinema
floor
were just they were idiots. They're idiots.
Yeah, but that's actually a movie where you would think that more people in the cinema would be good.
Cinema experience far superior to Netflix and chill. Well, Ghosty, yeah, I would agree with that largely. Netflix and chill does have its moments, but yeah, I know what you mean. What was the last film Ghosty saw at the cinema? I'm going with Gone with the Wind. I'm the only person who finds that funny. Anyway, Casablanca.
I wouldn't even be able to answer that myself, so I don't know.
I was in Casablanca when was I there? Just over a year ago, I think. And I went to this hotel that had the movie on permanently on a reel.
Mhm.
And it kind of sort of dressed itself up as a sort of a hotel that was sort of featured in the movie, but I believe the whole movie was never set in Casablanca. But it did sort of have I think basically the hotel came after, or the bar I was in came after the movie, and it sort of modeled itself on the movie in the middle of Casablanca rather than the other way around. Something about
It's a good idea. It's a good idea, you know. After
Yeah.
all, the bar is a very it's a main point of the movie, like it's a
Yeah.
main action
Tarantino's
set
got
piece, whatever.
Tarantino's newish book, Cinema Speculation, is really good. I can recommend.
Interesting. I haven't read a Quentin Tarantino book, so maybe I will do that.
He seems like an interesting guy. I mean,
Oh, definitely. He's a genius. I mean,
yeah,
for
I mean,
sure.
I've seen him on a few things. I don't necessarily agree with him on everything. I mean, I saw him get very angry with a BBC journalist about maybe 10 years ago. There's a famous YouTube clip anyway and the journalist I have a lot of time for actually who upset him. And he did ask some pertinent questions, and Tarantino did lose it and was probably in the wrong for losing it. It was about, the influences that these movies can have, and Tarantino kind of lost it.
Yeah, I think I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't remember the details, like what exactly was the question, but I remember his reaction more or less.
Yeah. But actually, I do like the journalist who gave it. I mean, it's possible to like both people, even if they fell out with each other, as we know in life. But then I also saw Tarantino far more recently on one of those YouTube channels from a guy in the US. Is it Bill Maher? Is that his name? Bill Maher. I'm gonna see now. I'll recognize it. And again, this Bill Maher is someone I don't agree with on. Yeah, it's him. Yeah. I don't agree with this Bill Maher on everything, but I think case by case, as I said many times before, and there's an interesting one he does with Tarantino for about an hour. Anyway, we are under a bit of pressure here on the Qinwen Zheng serve at 15:30, but it was even worse a minute ago because it was love 30 before she pulled out that forehand winner. Yep, that's the one. I'm probably mispronouncing his surname.
No, I just started laughing because I randomly remembered. This is totally off topic, but well, sort of on topic, but definitely not on topic of the match. But I just randomly remembered a friend of mine trying to tell us that he watched a movie and he wanted to recommend it to us when I was in high school, and he said that the movie was DJ Ango. Like a DJ.
Okay, yeah.
And like for 10 minutes we were so confused and we didn't know what he was even talking about. And of course,
Yeah.
once we realized, it was like a lot of laughs. Because what the hell is?
Yeah.
How do you get there?
It's like when somebody says, "Who's this Dr. Congo and why is he so corrupt?" And it's like, "Oh no, DR Congo, the country." Yeah,
something like that. Yeah.
So apparently, according to Ghosty, Tarantino's moved to Tel Aviv and is done making movies. Again, Zheng's serve gets her out of a bit of trouble there at 15:40. It's now at 30:40. Of course, the previous service game, she was down 15:40, got it back to juice, and then had to save a couple more break points. No first serve this time, though. So it's the second serve, and I think she's thrown in 7 double faults today. Iga's yet to double fault.
Iga has actually made a double fault
Oh, has she? Okay.
like 2 games ago, and I think Qinwen is going to be at like 9 by now. When Iga had her first double fault, Qinwen was at 8. That's what I can tell you off the top of my head. So I think Qinwen is going to be at like 9 or 10 at the moment.
Oh, wow.
And
And she's
Agnaldi
broken.
has defeated
She's gonna
Klein.
serve for the match now, 5-3.
Yep, Duckworth-Hanfman in the first set tiebreak.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, and Duckworth with a mini break.
After this, I will probably start watching Prismic Nakashima. That should be a good one in Canberra.
Oh, okay. Funny enough, that exact challenger, Liam Brody played it last year, but
Yeah. When you started saying that, I remembered that you watched something from that.
yeah,
one
I
last
did.
year,
Yeah.
so- Yeah.
But I see this year he's opted for Hong Kong.
Yeah. Well, this year with the, do you know about the sort of the changes in round by round point distribution?
I'm aware that there has been some changes, but I haven't really studied the
Yeah,
chart.
basically it's going to be more profitable to play ATP
Play 250s?
events.
Yeah.
Every ATP event rather than challengers. So perhaps that's also a factor in Liam's decision. And of course, he's also ranked a lot higher than he was at this time last
probably
year.
those two then. Those two. I mean, I think on the surface that does kind of make sense that you'd rather than you've got a lot of players, and I'm sure Liam's among them, where they've gone like, I'll go and play a few challenges and try and boost my ranking, if you like. Whereas that's sort of weird if you've got a 250 event. Oh dear, loose.
Yeah. I think it was getting a little out of hand because, well, now we had 196 challengers, right? A year that it was getting a little out of hand, especially with the prize money and the points improving. But I'm not sure if that's not going to be overkill. Like I'm definitely fine with the ATP increasing its round by round point distribution, but like I think maybe lowering it at the same time at the challengers, that might be a little much. Like just 22 points for a for a semi-final at the 75 level.
So they've lowered it. Then they have lowered the challenger points as well.
Yes. Every round, but the winners. So I think that might be a little much.
Yeah,
we'll see. I mean, we have to see how it works basically before we sort of pass any judgment. But
yeah, Zheng felt like she checked out at that point. Anyway, 3 match points here for Iga. Which will, of course, seal the win for Poland and put them into the semi-finals. And I'm sure there's still some group stage action still to finish somewhere. Where are Greece? Are they in the group stage still?
who?
Greece. What's going on with Greece?
Oh, Greece. Yeah. It's just Perth that's playing their quarterfinals today, which is this match plus Australia, Serbia.
Yeah. And I think Tsitsipas is not playing again. He's dropped out. I'm not sure if he's played yet, actually. Zheng, by the way, has saved one of the match points, thanks to an incredible shot that she hit that landed on the line that bamboozled Iga. Second serve, Qinwen goes long on the return, and Iga seals the deal. No official bagels today, 6-2, 6-3, but it is a comfortable win for the world number 1, who extends her winning streak, we think, to 14.
I mean, you could easily check that, but yeah, 6 matches in Beijing, 5 at the WTA finals, and 3 already here. So yeah, 14.
And seals Poland's spot in the semi-finals, and they will await. Do we know that they will play the winner, for example, of Australia, Serbia? Do we sort of know that? Is that
Yeah. They're gonna play the winner of Australia, Serbia, because it's only the final when the Perth and Sydney groups interact with each other.
Got it.
So they are actually going to play Australia or Serbia. Which of course would be pretty exciting if they played Serbia, given that we could get the mix of Swiatek against Djokovic, right? But Australia, I guess Swiatek is the favorite regardless, and it's actually going to be a pretty easy match for her either way, right? Either Tomljanovic or Danilovic. Hurkacz against De Minaur, 50-50. Hurkacz against Djokovic, of course, you're not going to pack him really, so Poland wants
Hurkacz, De Minaur, 50-50?
I believe. Yeah. Maybe a little even in Hurkar's favor. Although
Yeah.
it has to be said that Australia has an amazing mixed doubles team, right? With Storm Hunter and Matthew Ebden, and both top 10 players, I believe, at the moment. And obviously Serbia has Danilovic Djokovic, which is like much weaker. So it's actually kind of tough to say which one is easier for Poland. I think they still remain the main tournament favorites. Of course, the USA is out, and they were actually a little even, I think, higher when it comes to the bookies. But of course, now Poland remains the main tournament favorites, especially as they start every match with a 1 point lead, given that they have Iga Świątek.
Why is Ghosty laughing at Storm Hunter's name? Is there something I don't know?
It is super funny, isn't it? I mean, Storm Hunter.
It is funny, yeah.
She was called Storm Sanders, but then she got married. Yeah,
I mean, it is funny,
And-
and I think, by the way, there are actually people who do hunt storms. I think there's a thing I've seen on on either on YouTube or on Netflix. I think I saw these people that chase around filming storms, and
it is very funny. Yeah, I remember when she changed her name, and everyone was really laughing at it instantly. Like right now, we've gotten used to it, but at first it was definitely quite amusing to hear that.
Go to the website, the United Cup website, to show us Poland 2, China 0, Swiatek 6-2, 6-3, and then underneath, just in case we're not quite sure, they write winner, Iga Swiatek. Anyway, that's that. We're done. So would China.
Serbia should play Medjedovic, says Ghosty. Is it instead of Djokovic or Danilovic? Because if instead of Danilovic, I agree. Yes, they should play Djokovic, Medjedovic in the doubles.
I mean, maybe he
think
just
they're
thinks
going to be allowed that.
Yeah, could you dress the Medjedovic up somehow?
As Danilovic? No, I mean Danilovic
It
is
might
so
be,
thin.
we're not.
Hamad
It might be
has
easier for Novak in a way, somehow.
Yeah, it would be like with the body type, it would be much easier for Novak. Yeah. Yes, definitely. Like Danilovic is like super thin, so there's no way Medjedovic ever manages to.
Somebody's interviewing Iga right now, and I have to say, I don't know who she is. She looks a bit like Steffi Graf from this angle, but I know it won't be. All I know is it's an American. An American Steffi Graf is interviewing Iga Swiatek right now.
Talk about what that means to you. You love having them here. Oh, it's amazing. It still surprises me that in any place we go, like most of the stadium is filled with Polish people. So, dziękuję bardzo za to, że jesteście. Wydaje mi się, że nie będę grała miksta dzisiaj, więc chciałam podziękować wam ogólnie za cały tydzień, bo naprawdę atmosfera była świetna. W ogóle I love being in Perth and the stadium.
She says she won't play mixed today, by the way.
Okay, I thought she said, why am I talking to an American Steffi Graf? That's what I thought she said. But
yeah, she said thank you for being here, and that I think that I won't be playing mixed today. I actually don't know if it's even like, are they going to play mixed in the quarterfinals? It doesn't really matter, right? So
I mean,
it's just not play them at all.
Do they still play it in the quarterfinals?
I don't know. In the groups they play because of course it matters. Yeah. But like in the quarters, I would assume that they wouldn't, because that's sort of how it goes.
Unless it's just for the crowd and it's sort of like an exhibition. And
yeah, I mean, maybe they're gonna play it. Maybe it's going to be like the of course the other guys getting a chance to play. I would assume Zieliński and Peter in Poland for Poland, and for China, I guess that would make Yuncao Kete and whatever woman is there. I don't remember.
Yeah. I mean, maybe a slightly underwhelming, slightly disappointing tournament for China in that it's tough. I mean, it's tough playing Serbia. It's tough playing Poland.
They got out of an extremely tough group, honestly. Like when we were doing that preview, I was very sure that like they are underrated for the bookies, but still, like they were actually like long way behind Serbia and Czech. Yeah, obviously the fact that they beat Czechia 3-0, like that was the main aspect of how they got to the quarters. But as a whole, I think they absolutely. I'm satisfied with their performance. As I said before the tournament, they were like my favorite team. So I absolutely can say that I'm satisfied with how they did.
Okay.
Sometimes you just cannot do more. I mean, Zhang against here for Qinwen, you could probably say that there were a lot of things that you could improve on her performance, right? But like when Zhang played Djokovic, there was just nothing I could criticize him for. I mean, sometimes you're just worse than the other player, you know. Sometimes you just get outplayed, and yeah,
Oh,
as a
who
whole,
who
I think
won?
it was still a good event.
Who won that Duckworth match? Because I turned away and I'm now
I don't
looking at
even know. I also didn't.
Safiullin
Arnaldi
Popyrin.
definitely beat Klein. Yeah, Duckworth won 7-2. So we've got Safiullin
Okay.
Popyrin now playing in Brisbane. I think it's clear that the main star of the show today is Rune Shevchenko, though. Like other matches in Brisbane aren't that exciting today. Hong Kong, I'm waiting for Yuncheng Shang though at 7 a.m., which is in 30 minutes, in fact. And as I said, Prismic Nakashima in Canberra will be the one that I'll start watching now.
The Shevchenko match has happened, or it's happening?
No. It's going to be in 4 hours and 30 minutes. So that's going to be the
Is that like
main
a
dish for today.
9:30 match? Is it then? Like
Huh?
the Rafa one? Is that the 9:30 a.m. match?
No,
that Rafa-
11 a.m. It's
Ah,
after that one. Of
it's the
course,
last.
it might be later depending on the WTA matches that will be happening before it, but
It's the last. What's kind of like prime time in Brisbane then? The 9:30 match in
probably
Central.
9:30. 9:30, I think, is the sort of second session or whatever.
Beginning
I don't
match.
know
And
if they actually. I don't know if they actually split it, but I
which
think
match
yeah,
is that? Do we
9:30 is
know?
probably.
Or I guess we do know. Which match is the
Oh,
9:30
I
match?
can tell you. I can check.
Yeah.
It would be Gadecki Rybakina. Yeah, that makes sense.
All right. Well, that's that done, I think, and it's
It probably will be. Although actually, yeah, Rune Shevchenko will probably start a bit later since it's not before 6:30 on the Gadecki Rybakina, so 9:30 a.m. in Europe, as you said. So
9:30
Rune
a.m., yes, that's
Shevchenko
true.
might start a bit later. But yeah, I'm definitely watching that today. Rune Shevchenko.
Ghosty there, done a little wordplay with ducks and geese. Yeah. Anyway, maybe there'll be a talking Portuguese, not talking Portuguese, a fallo tennis. That's the verb to speak. I know in Portuguese. I don't know what the progressive or the gerund is, but I'll hopefully figure that out someday. Anyway, on that bombshell, we'll bring this stream to an end. Congratulations to Iga Swiatek and the whole of Poland. And of course, Damien is right now probably. I'm surprised there aren't some more fireworks going off outside Damien's window in celebration.
Yeah, I don't see any fireworks. I think the whole of Poland is still asleep, basically.
Yeah. Well, fortunately, Iga wasn't sleeping today, and Ghosty says good night, you all. And he says, "Oh yeah, Ghosty there with another pun." And on that bombshell, we will bring this to a close. And for those of you that have managed to tune in at this point, you know the drill.
Polska Górą.
Go on. What were you going to say, Damien?
No, I was just gonna say Polska Górą. That's that's the thing that people write on YouTube a lot. Like whenever it's a bit of a meme by now that they just say Polska Górą, and even sometimes they like misspell the górą to górom instead of the A with the thing at the bottom. It's the OM, and it basically means Poland's up, I guess. Góra is mountain. Góra is mountain. So like it's kind of hard to translate, right? Polska Górą, but it's like Poland is, has won or whatever.
It's like let's go. It's like I guess it's like what's the Serbian one that I Idemo?
A little bit, yeah. Idemo, yeah. A little bit like this, yeah.
Yeah, Vamos, I would suggest, is the Spanish.
It's different words for sure. Like that, these don't include the name of the country, but the meaning is actually very similar, I think, to Vamos and Idemo.
Yeah. And again, another bombshell we've brought you with, and a little bit of a Polish lesson we've had today. So that is cool. Come here for the tennis and you leave with the languages. And we'll speak to you all soon.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis.
Play.
Cool. Hi, we are here again in Monastir. It's my first time here, but of course it's the second time that we've had the tournament here. And I'm with the president of the Tunisian Tennis Federation. Firstly, can you just introduce yourself?
I'm Salma. I am doctor in sports psychology. I teach in the High University of Sports, and I am the president of Tunisian Tennis Federation. I'm also member in the board of ITF. I represent Africa.
Nice. Tell me, how has it been this year, for example, compared to last year? Last year was the first version, so now you're an expert at hosting a tennis tournament.
Let's say not really an expert, but this edition we have more good players compared to last year, because last year the best players was 80, and in this year we have 26, 32, and it's very, very important the level of the player, the technical level of the players. Secondly, we tried to improve a little the infrastructure. That's why we did a little village. And we get, let's say, not more sponsor, but the same sponsor. As you know, tennis is not a sport popular here in Tunisia. To get sponsor, it's not easy for us. And the majority, they want to support because they have the visibility. And such an event, because it's a WTA 250, and it's diffused in beIN and all the media. That's why we get more sponsor than last year.
Good. We are missing one player this year compared to last year. Ons, unfortunately, she got injured last week in China and wasn't able to make it. How much of an impact does that have on the tournament?
To be honest, the fact that Ons doesn't play, we don't have a lot of spectators, and we try to push people to come to see tennis. As you know, Ons, she's our ambassador. Everyone loves her all over the world, especially here in Tunisia. They want to, all people, all players, all the fans of Ons, they want to see her playing here in Monastir or in Tunisia. Unfortunately, she has injury. And we did our tournament. Everything is okay. The level is very high. Every day I'm watching the matches. Really, I'm very happy because there is good players, good young players, and because they love Tunisia and they love Monastir also.
Yes. You have a 3-year situation, last year, this year, and of course next year. Is there a hope? Is there a plan to maybe continue beyond 2024?
The hope is here, yes, we can plan, but I have to discuss with EMG and WTA because, as you know, I buy the 3 edition, the tournament. Why not? Why not? It's our dream that we maintain Jasmine Open for many years, and why not also as a president of federation with my board, we hope to host also an ATP.
I can tell you that to work here is a pleasure because obviously having everything together, and it's nice. I'm from Europe, so we like some winter sun and the palm trees and the beach. What about the players? Are you communicating with the players about, are they comfortable? Are they enjoying their experience here?
Yes, yes. All the players are very happy to be here. The majority of the players that come here last year, they are here. They did a big publicity of promotion of Jasmine Open tournament. They like the weather, they have the beach, the food, and I think everything is good. The hospitality here in the hotel. The Tunisians are known to be very kind with the other people, and especially tennis, because now everyone loves tennis in Tunis in the fact of the result of Ons. And I don't know. I think that they are very happy, all the players.
Okay, one more. Next year, are you already sort of planning? I mean, are you looking at what happened last year, this year, and also thinking about, okay, what can we do next year to maybe, get even more players or make it even better for everybody? Have you already thought about next year?
Yes, we are thinking about next year. First of all, the week. It's very important to get the best week because, as you know, this time, just before the Masters, it's good. We get a good players, but it's not really the week that we want to take as a federation. Perhaps the first week of October, it will be better. And of course, we want to improve the village to get more sponsor. That's why we have to work on sponsoring next month. We don't have to wait till August or July. It will be very late. And yes, why not invite players in top 10 if Ons will not play or if Ons is not here. As you know, in sport there is always injury and we cannot control our player.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Merci.
Merci. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis.